into a Vance 28 campaign, a Rubio 28 campaign, and you can expect
what campaign?
just as much America first from that as you got in this administration, which is none, which is nothing. And nobody is taking that seriously. And numbnuts. And on the Republican side, if we do nothing, it's going to be Vance, terrible, or Rubio, terrible. All bad options. I'm thinking ahead to 2028. I want Vance and Rubio to be as diminished as possible. And that only happens if the Trump administration is sabotaged. The Trump administration has to fail in every way, has to become more unpopular, weaker. It has to become so toxic that Rubio and Vance are hurt by their association to it, so that it increases the odds that an outsider that is not a part of this train wreck, this Israel-occupied administration, can come in from the outside as a breath of fresh air for a reset and define a whole new period with Trump off the ballot in the next primary. This is what we're thinking. This is what we're cooking up. And what's funny, so I've explained this like 100 times. I've explained it so much, but people just can't wrap their heads around it. They're like, wait.
Hey,
so
one
you're a
ghost thumbs
Democrat?
up.
It's like, no,
Thanks,
like,
Ghost.
And then they go,
I love you,
wait.
whoever's in here.
So you want to vote for this now, but you're saying you're going to hurt us in 28? It's like, yeah, okay, yes.
Hey, what up, bro?
Yes.
I'm waiting for the
them to
fucking
win
game to
this
set.
election,
Let me check,
not
dog.
the next election.
What the fuck is it?
Anyway.
It's that motherfucking 8%, bro.
But I'm getting
This
a
shit
little
ain't
bit
downloading
technical
tonight, bro.
because people are
Hey, you know it'd be dope
expecting-
as fuck, dude, to be to stream the motherfucking
It's going
games,
to
man, when
happen.
we're playing.
Regardless, it's going to
That'd be
happen
so
this way.
fucking
Okay,
sick. Watch this.
screenshot
A bunch of people
screen
gonna come up here
record
real quick.
this.
Watch this.
I want everybody
Watch
to
this.
record how they
For
feel
my
right
people.
now. Because in 2028, I'm going to be absolutely vindicated. You are once again watching the magic in action. And this time, I'm going to talk
Bro,
my
hey,
shit,
I don't
and I'm
know.
gonna
Are you
say
looking
it
at the screen, bro?
confidently
Check
with
this
my
out, dog.
chest.
I found my
You
fucking
might watch
headset,
those
dude.
clips from 3 years ago and say,
I
how
gave
did
it
he
to
predict
Benny,
the war in Iran?
and now I
How
took
did
it
he
back.
predict that Trump would be this bad?
It cost
How
him
did he
like
predict that there'd be no mass
$60,
deportation?
some shit like
How
that.
did he predict it down to the month, down to the letter? Those same people are now saying, I don't get it. What, we're Democrats now? Screenshot this. It's happening all over again. I will be vindicated. Democrats are going to win the House. The next 2 years of the Trump administration are going to be a train wreck. He might die in office. I don't want that to happen, but it might happen. He's certainly going to be impeached. They're going to grind every initiative, every program to a halt. He's only going to get more unpopular. And soon, okay, in 2027, the Republican primary is going to begin. The Republican primary for the 2028 presidential election is going to start sometime next
I don't know. It
year.
usually takes like 5-10 minutes.
It might happen in January. It might happen.
Bro, I wish you were here the other night, man, when I got in the conversation with this one dude. You were there when, remember that Quantum dude?
At the midpoint next year.
Remember he cracked a joke or something, and then you were like, what you know about Quantum or whatever the fuck. Well, that dude came back the next day, bro, and me and him got talking for like half hour about politics and shit, bro. It's fucking awesome.
About this right now.
He's like, you gotta subscribe here to me, you fucking God bless Rated R and all this stuff. I got 3 subscribers that night. It was fucking awesome, dude.
A nationalist, America First president, we have to start gaming it out right
fucking
now.
awesome, man.
Okay, but like, how
God
do you want
damn!
to-
Get in here, guys. Come on, 2 people. Get in
I
here.
can tell you now already, it isn't. Like, it's almost impossible. Take a look at the Trump administration now, for example. Like,
I don't know. Usually people like pop in like real quick, like 30 motherfuckers at a
He's
time.
gonna be the guy who will bring us peace with Iran. Are you kidding me? Like, what a joke. And for this reason, I just don't trust like the political system in our country anymore, because it almost feels like a circle. It almost feels like
What is that? What the fuck is that symbol? You see that little symbol next to
People
the
be in office with just like
like
little
it's
dot,
yeah.
little dot,
Who's in
JD
here, man? It's
Plantis.
just me and you,
He's gonna
dog. What
try
the
to do
fuck?
everything to put this little dog in office, and when this little dog, JD Plantis,
Oh, dude,
he
it
probably
says
has, like,
2
a
people
little
now. I
dog
don't
as well,
know.
like
Hey,
maybe
like and
Michael
subscribe.
Bloomberg,
Hit that.
maybe
Double
somewhere
tap that
else,
screen, guys.
someone else, and he will try to do everything to put this guy in office, and this is why it goes on.
What's
and
that
on
little
and on.
symbol next to the word
This
of?
reason,
I don't know if you
really
see it on
believe
your
we just
screen,
need, like, a
but
different party. I'm
it
getting
looks like a
tired
little
of, like, the
Chinese
Democrats
symbol with
and the
the letter A
Republicans.
under
It's
it.
the
I
same
don't
coin
know.
with 2 different sides. We just need like a new party, because I really believe The people are not even a problem. It's like the
I
political
love this
system in
fucking
this
dude
country.
right here
That's
that's
like a
talking.
real problem. And as long as we don't change this, we will always have the
This dude's
same
fucking
problem. And I
awesome.
can make 500 million videos like this. It will never ever change anything.
And, you know, this relates to what just happened with Casey Push. Okay, Casey Push, who ran against Vivek Ramaswamy in Ohio. So it would have been ideal and probably winnable if a America First candidate ran against Vivek for the Republican primary in the governor's race. Casey Push ran a terrible campaign, raised no money, didn't listen to his advisors, and he still got 18% of the vote. And people are right that that's a
Bro, I
big
was
deal.
watching the fucking.
It's huge.
Hey, if you're still in
He
here,
got
bro, I was
over
watching that fight.
100,000 votes, and it's true, he raised no
Not the
money,
fight card, whatever it's called, man.
had
Where they
no
were
operation,
facing
did
off
no
the face
events,
off, bro.
no virality,
That
did
motherfucker
all
Chimaev
nothing.
kicked Strickland, bro.
But you know what he says after he loses
I want
this
Strickland to
winnable
beat the shit out of
election?
him,
He
dude.
says, well, I only raised $100,000
Go,
and I've
Sean.
only been in it for 5 months, so that's pretty good. And people say, why aren't you supporting this guy? Here's the difference. I don't want to be a
support you,
day
virgin.
late and a dollar short and lose and then shrug my shoulders and say, hey, not bad. No, we need to win. We need to win. So there's all the difference in the world between somebody who gets red-pilled yesterday, sees a race, goes all in with no intention of winning. 5 months before the primary, doesn't even know if they're going to be on the ballot, and says, hey, let's just give it a shot. Look, we're not taking this seriously. Nobody really plans on winning. Maybe it'll go well. Who cares? No, that's not good enough. The 2028 primary is winnable. But listen, it's a presidential primary. If we're going to have a chance, you got to take it seriously. And taking it seriously means you need to think that far ahead. And it is a bit convoluted. Okay? Yes, I know this requires some second and third order thinking, but that is what is required if you want to be a Machiavellian. That is what is required if you want to win in politics. So no, I don't want to wake up in the middle of 2027 with my in my hand and my pants on my ankles and say, oh, gee, I think we need to get in the primary. Somebody needs to do something. Let's start a campaign and not know if we're on the ballot. No, we need to think about this now. And we need to think about
I
the
agree, bro.
challenges
We are
that we're
fucked.
going to face. And I'm telling it to you right now. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not an oracle. I'm not a soothsayer. But next year, our top op is going to be J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio because they have the boss. Trump is formally the head of the party as the president. They are second and third in the chain of command in the government. I think Secretary of State is fourth. I'm not sure. But it's like Vance and Rubio, formally in government and informally in the party, they are the successors. And they are going to suck up all the money, all the earned media, all the attention, and all the votes if there is not a wrecking ball that hurts them. I can't destroy them. The Groypers are not strong enough to destroy the GOP machine, but the Democrats are.
Oh, fuck.
If the Democrats are empowered in 26, because they are naturally set against Republicans, they are powerful enough to degrade meaningfully their chances of winning. How? Democrats having oversight power will subpoena and depose members of the Trump government. They will expose the fraud, real corruption, real Epstein stuff, the rest of it. It is going to be so radioactive and poisonous and toxic. It is going to seriously wound everybody in this administration. And that is good because those are the people we're going to be fighting against in the 2028 primary, which starts next year. So, you know, that's all I have to say to all these people is call me when you want to get serious, okay? This cutesy stuff where you go on Twitter and say, oh, maybe Hitler was a good guy. It's fine. You know, it's fun. It's fine. Hit of dopamine. It's a viral post. It's great. Whatever. Call me when you want to get serious because when you get serious, you start looking at power. You start thinking about how power works. And that's how we have to think about these problems. That's how we have to think about these challenges. Take it from me. I'm not just a 10-year veteran of, talking about, I don't just go on the show and say for 10 years. I've also been a student of the Trump movement. I've known people in the administration in the first term, in the second term.
Yeah.
I know the donors. I know high-level officials. I know how this went the first time. I know how and where it went wrong. I know what happened the second time around. I know how and where it went wrong. I lived it. I lived through it.
Okay, so if you know all these kind of things, and I really believe Nick when he's saying this, why would he not start his own party? This is
Yeah, start your own party, you fucking virgin. You got my vote.
So popular now, he has like a huge audience. He could start his own party. I think he can even like raise a lot of money.
Fucking virgin.
Who will also like support
this motherfucker like 30 over it.
Like money thing. You can never compete with like the Miriam Adelsons and the Larry Ellison.
Hey, 2 people in here. Hit that, double tap that screen, subscribe, guys. I got some Pokemon cards. If you guys want to see some Pokemon cards, let me know.
Long story short, we can complain over and over again. I get this. I did this also multiple times, so I'm not a hypocrite. I also complained many times on my channel. But can we maybe like stop complaining about everything that's going on or what is going wrong in this country, and instead maybe starting to like solve problems? Like I'm getting a little bit annoyed by complaining every time. Okay, this is wrong, that's wrong, and this is how we should like should solve this. All right, but why are we not doing that? Why are we not doing that? Excuse me, like,
I'm down.
if you know the answer, please let me know.
Let's go.
But I'm getting a little bit tired of like us, many people also around me, including myself, don't get me wrong, always complaining. We should maybe start acting. We should maybe like start to solve some problems. If we really want to make America great again,
I'm down. Who got money? Let's go. Who got the money? Who got the money?
Because these other people, these elite kind of figures, they're not gonna do this. They're only gonna enrich themselves. They're gonna take more money from us to give it to their friends, to their families. Like this is just how it goes. And if we can complain over and over again, they don't care about it. They don't really care about it, about this. So yeah, maybe we, the people, we don't have to change something. I don't know what. Like, let me know if you have like a good option. Please let me know. But I think it's not even a bad idea because Nick is young now. He could like create his own party. That's a good idea, right? Like the America First Party. And maybe you're not gonna win the elections in the first 4 years. Of course not. And maybe not in the next 10 years. Maybe not in the next 20 years. But at least you did something. You started something. And maybe you can make a change in like 30 years. Because of course this is not gonna be like a battle what you're gonna win in like 2 days. Of course this will be. It will take years. But still, why should we wait if we can start today? That's something what I just don't understand.
I lived through the first 4 years of Trump and the campaign and all of the fights happening in the bureaucracy. I lived through the 4 years of Biden and the prosecution or persecution of the dissidents and playing that whole game and being in the opposition, Republicans running in 22 and fuss over even then. Marjorie Greene's deal with Kevin McCarthy, we were there for that too. And then throughout this whole process, this election, this term, the personnel, so it's a dual track. Like, yes, we have been ascending in our understanding and consciousness of the problem or power, whatever. We've also been ascending in our consciousness and understanding of politics and how all of that works in Washington. And I'm telling you, Vance is our biggest op. Vance, Rubio, if you're looking for the biggest enemy of right-wing nationalism, it is the conservative center-right, which is going to squelch us. They're going to suffocate us. And no one is taking this seriously. There is so much money being poured into that, laying the groundwork. Think tanks and nonprofits and a cadre of influencers, and they're getting the comedians.
Hey, 3 people in here. Hit that like, guys.
They're getting all
4
this
people
stuff
in here.
ready.
Hey, let's go.
They have been planting
Go.
these seeds
I got a little mega
for
evolution.
years.
See what I
They've
get.
been planting these seeds for the
Hit
past
that
10
like
years.
and subscribe.
And they are setting
Got my
up,
vote, virgin.
I
Let's
am
go.
telling you,
10 people in
Tucker
here. Let's
and
go,
Vance
baby.
and Natcon and Yoram Mazzoni and Barry Weiss and all of this, they're all doing it to suffocate and siphon energy from the dissident right, from the nationalists.
What up, everybody? God bless you guys. I hope you guys are having a good night. I hope you guys are all healthy and happy.
Rubio 28 campaign.
God bless everybody in this room right now.
Just as much America First from
I love
that
everybody in
as
here.
you got in
I
this
love you guys. Get in here, subscribe.
Which is none, which is nothing. And nobody is taking that seriously. And numbnuts and all these other people, they just cannot even begin to understand anything that I just said because they do not care. and they don't know the first thing about politics. So, you know, enthusiasm is no substitute for cleverness.
15
And that's
people
really
in
what they
here. What's
think.
up, guys? God bless everybody
There
in
are
here.
no
Hope you guys are having a good night.
trophies in this war, okay? Casey Push and every other loser, this long list of has been and never was failed candidates and influencers and whoever, there are no participation trophies. You do not get a blue ribbon for enthusiasm. There is no, at least I tried, at least I did something. Hey, I don't know if it's going to work. I don't care if it's going to work. It didn't work. At least I did something. That's not good enough. That's not enough. It has to work. And for it to work, it has to make sense. And it might be convoluted, and it might be ambitious, and it might be a little bit too complicated for your small head to understand. But that's how it has to be if we want to win. Time to get fucking serious.
Yeah, time to get fucking serious.
Dude, everybody that lives in your district is an old boomer evangelical. It just doesn't even make any sense.
For the people who have no idea where Nick is talking
He's talking about Dan
he's
Bilzerian.
making fun of Dan Bilzerian, who's gonna run for Congress.
That Dan Bilzerian should smack the shit out of you, little virgin fucking pussy. Sorry.
No. There are now two tracks diverged, and honestly, it's a good thing.
Smack the shit out of this little boy.
It's a good thing. Let that be a magnet for every dummy. Let that be a magnet for every dummy, every numbnuts, every low IQ person, everybody that just
Hey,
wants
another
to
thumbs
do
up. Thanks, guys.
something.
Double tap that
Let
screen, guys. I
be
love
a
you guys.
magnet
I hope
for
you guys
all
are
of
all
the
well.
refuse
I
and
wish
the
you nothing
Lurvins,
but health and
let
happiness
this be
to
a
you and your
magnet for
families.
the
God
elite
bless
human
everybody in here.
capital, for people that want to think deeply about these problems. You don't even have to agree
Damn it,
with
my
me
light is up.
necessarily, but we do need to be on the same
Damn.
page that we're going to need a big picture. We're going to need a big idea. We're going to need a better mental model of the world than whatever is going on that side, okay? So it's fine. It's fine. And that's the big idea. That's been the big idea. I've been saying it for a long time. I said it in 2024. I said we got to go against Trump. Nobody wanted to go there. They were too late. And now here I am saying the same thing. I'm like, we got to up the ante. We got to go Democrat. We got to break the mold, break that taboo. We got to do it just once. And once again, people are saying, oh, it's too far. Oh, it's too complicated. Oh, I don't get it.
We're fucking up. We're dropping the ball here. We need to do something.
But here's the thing. I let the predictions do the talking.
These old motherfuckers are going to be dying soon.
Anymore. I've made the case.
I'm not trying to be negative or nothing, but that's just the reality of it.
I always have my record. So you do your thing and I'll do mine. You do your whatever that is, I'll do my thing. Let's just go our separate ways and let's just see what happens. Let's just see where we are in a couple of years. That's all I'm going to say. Let's just see what happens in 2028. And if you're confident, then you got nothing to worry about. That's the difference. I always put my money where my mouth is. I always go all in, and I am always vindicated. Always. Every single time. So, I'm done, no more pearls before swine. I'm trying to explain this to somebody that doesn't know their ass from a hole in the ground. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see where we are.
Doesn't know their ass from a hole in the ground.
People say, you think this mythical dark horse is going to run and blah, blah. Let's just see what happens. Okay? Let's just see what happens. You and what army? You and what army? Of OnlyFans thoughts? That's the difference. I'm still people can say they're the movement. People can say whatever they want. This is still the only movement. Always has been, is, always will be. This is the America First movement. Everybody knows that. You have no army. You have nothing. You have no ideas. You have nothing.
Bro, you won't debate Dan Bilzerian. What the fuck's up with that?
Said like an army of OnlyFans thoughts. Are you kidding me? That's kind of funny.
That is kind of funny.
He's like still roasting Dan Bilzerian. Now I'm a little bit confused.
Yeah, I'm confused too, bro. What the fuck?
About like an army of OnlyFans thoughts, but it is true. I understand where he's coming from, but also like a very important thing is I think also like people are so divided on the right now. That's also like a major problem. That's like a huge problem. I said this multiple times already, but all these people, as long as they're like fighting each other, they are never gonna win this battle. Like seriously, they're only like wasting their own energy, wasting their own time, and this is always happening. Okay, the things I can see on the left, they can work, they can work more together than like people on the right. That's just a fact in my opinion. Like seriously, not all of them, of course, don't get me wrong. Also like people on the left, they can also fight with each other. But the only thing they're very good at is like always like working together. People on the right, or they are like super narcissistic, I don't know why, but they're always fighting each other. And this is the reason why they will never ever like make like a strong movement. But I get the point where Nick is coming from. But again, also I really think like the bigger problem is not even the people. The people are not even like very important. It's like this whole political system in this country. I really believe that's the biggest problem. And as long as we don't change this system, as long as we keep staying in the same system and yeah, then we can like waste another 4 years about complaining about Donald Trump and then another 4 years complaining about JD Vance and then later about
Hey, Yaz, you still in here, bro? Is that you? This
that's
game's taking forever to fucking download, dog. What the
Point
fuck?
I'm trying to make. As long as you have
Slow.
a system, it doesn't even matter who is like in office, in my opinion. I could be wrong about this, but it's just like the system has
Fucking
to
Xbox is slow,
you have,
actually.
like two parties who are acting like they are different, but at the same time, I really believe they're just the same. It's just look, they're just want us to feel like we.
Damn,
have different
16%, bro.
options,
What the
like
fuck? This shit's been going on.
But I feel like it's almost like
No,
again
it's
the
gonna be
same
all
point
night.
with two different sides. And as long as we still have like these two parties, I think that's the biggest problem. It's not even the people. It's the
Yeah, I
parties.
agree.
They are the biggest problem, and we have to change this. If
No, I
if
agree.
we really want to make a change, start talking about that instead of like just the people. But again, this is just my opinion. Like correct me if I'm wrong. But Nick is also making a good point. Don't get me wrong, what he said is true. But stop attacking each other over and over again. That's also very stupid.
So
No power. Please recharge.
Oh, fucking
get into the
cunt.
news. That's the
Got
last
something
time
for
I'm
you,
going to
right?
say it. It probably isn't. We're probably going to do the same monologue tomorrow. Who am I kidding? We're going to do.
No power.
Oh,
Please
no.
recharge.
Wait a minute.
I've been
Turn
saying
off
it for a
my-
long
Hang on.
time. And who knows? Maybe they're a part of it. Who knows? Maybe they're a part of this operation. But that has always been our biggest enemy. Our biggest enemy is not the left. The left will
No power. Please recharge.
beat us, and
Stupid ass.
but the left is not the biggest threat. The biggest threat has always been the center right. Because look, we have a binary system. We have a two-party. You've got the status quo, you've got the institutional left, the hegemonic left, and then you've got the opposition, which is the right, which is trying to unseat and disempower the left. And the right has, it's institutionalized opposition. That is the other half of the country, and they have a monopoly on the people in the country that don't agree with the left. If we can take control of the right as a vehicle, then we can use it and we can win. That's really the path to victory. It's not going to come from the left. It's not going to come from a third thing in the middle. Our system just isn't set up for that. That has always been the MO. And like Trump really opened up the door for that to happen because he sufficiently weakened the GOP. And if you're paying attention on another level, you'll realize that Trump is doing the same thing all over again. In 2016, Trump weakened the Republican Party for himself to ascend, and then he became popular and the Republican Party became strong and they won in 2024 and they filled the federal judge seats and they took over the House and the Senate. They did a lot of things, but now that Trump is crashing and burning, he's sort of once again bringing down the GOP, and we need to enable him to do this so that once again we can have another outsider come in and maybe we get a chance to re-roll and redefine things. But I'm telling you, whether it's Vance or whether it's a Democrat, we're going to need to go for the hills. These are both unacceptable options. Nobody else seems to be thinking that far ahead. It's kind of crazy. Once again, Alex Jones, I was with him last week, and he says, how did you predict the war in Iran? I'm like, I just listened to what they were saying. I just literally thought 1 year ahead. And here it is all over again. They're telling us.
Hey, 5 people in it. Get in here, guys. Subscribe. Hit that like and
It's
subscribe.
unstoppable.
I'll open
You're
up
just
a pack of
gonna have to
Pokemon
shut
for you
the fuck
guys.
up and accept Vance 28 or Rubio.
Nah, fuck Vance 28.
And
Get the
that's
fuck out of here
gonna
with that
start
shit.
next
No
year.
Vance 28. No.
Calendar.
Thomas
The
Massey.
primary will start in 2027.
Hold on, guys. We'll pull
And
Charizard. Watch
nobody's
this shit.
even thinking
We're gonna
that
pull.
far
God damn
ahead.
it. We're gonna pull
Nobody's even
Charizard. Come
thought
on.
a year in the
Hit
future
that. Don't
to
tap
the
the
next
screen, guys. Come on.
presidential election. When do you think you're gonna think about it?
Oh,
When
hey,
do
we
you
got
think you're
something.
gonna get it together
Oh,
to
the
field
fuck is this, a
somebody
bug?
for
We got a
presidential
bug!
primary?
Rushing
The
man.
week
Dope.
before, 5
Like
months
this is more.
before,
I bet
with
you this is like $1,
100 grand,
bro. I
oh,
don't
that's
know.
good enough?
Who
No,
cares?
you
Hit's a
gotta
hit.
think about it far in advance.
That deserves a like. Come on, guys.
Long-term
Double tap
planning.
that screen.
Not
Screen.
exuberance,
Screen.
not enthusiasm and haste, Let's just do something. No, long-term planning is the only thing that is going to get us to where we need to go. So if you want to be a part of that,
Like and
this is where
subscribe.
we
Get in
are.
here, guys.
If you
I
want to be
love
part
you
of
guys. I
stuff,
hope you guys are all having a great night. God bless
get your
everybody
new
in
job,
here.
get your
Hope
Docs
nothing
Ice
but health and
t-shirt,
happiness
go
for
to
you
the
guys.
next fucking whatever rally. And
I wish nothing
maybe
but
you
health,
do that.
health and happiness for you guys. I
Honestly,
love
do
you
us a
guys.
favor. It's another foil for the America First movement.
So guys, did you hear that? Don't you dare to vote for JD Plant.
Nah, I'm not voting for that
kidding, of course,
motherfucker.
like,
I'm
decide
good.
yourself who you're gonna vote for, but I think Nick has a very good
I'm
point.
good.
I
I'm
almost
done with
see
these
many people,
motherfuckers.
literally like 3 days ago, I saw this guy on like X, on like Twitter.
I
He
am
was
done voting for
complaining
these
about the Trump
motherfuckers.
administration.
Lying. People, there needs to be accountability. Tell me if you guys agree with me. There needs to be accountability. If we put you in office, if we vote for you and put you in office, you are fucking accountable.
He's gonna make a real difference. He is actually America first. He is gonna put America's first, and he will make America great again. Excuse me, but if you are this guy who is watching this video, maybe you're not very smart, or maybe it was like rage based. Because if you really believe that like JD Vance, if he's gonna be your guy, you're complaining
Nah,
about
don't
his
vote. Don't vote for that
administration,
guy.
about Trump administration, and then you
Get
say
out
that
of here. Get the
JD
fuck
Vance
out of
is
here
gonna
with
be good
JD
for us.
Vance. Nope.
He will even be worse. Like he will even be worse. No one
He's
of
way
this
worse.
cloud administration should even like be allowed to
He's
run
way
for
worse.
office.
And we're in a fucking war right now. That's saying something.
Name.
That's
Not
saying
even Marco
something.
Rubio, none of them. They just like, they lost. They are game over. They are game over. Like seriously.
He has
they
been
shouldn't
bought and
even
paid
have,
for
like,
by
one
Peter
option
Thiel.
anymore. It's over. Look how they.
Look up
what
Peter
a
Thiel.
complete mess they made of the United States of America. Like they shouldn't even have like a chance again to like make another 4 years of like complete destruction in this country.
I like you, foreigner. I like you, foreigner.
So seriously, and again, maybe I'm the wrong one here, but no one of this clown administration should even be allowed to like run for office, in my opinion. It's ridiculous. Look what a complete
I
mess
agree.
they made of our country, and then they really think that they can like shove someone else who is who is responsible for all these mistakes, and he is actually gonna solve these problems. Are you kidding me? No one of this clown administration should even be allowed
nobody.
to like, get close to the office anymore. But again, guys, like this is just my opinion. I'm very, very curious about your opinion. Like, do you agree with Nick on this one? Do you disagree with him? What do you think? Would you vote for like Marco Rubio or JD Plant? I'm very, very curious about your opinion. I hope that will not be the case. But yeah, please let me know. I'm very curious. And as well, guys, if you like these kind of videos, please hit the like button. I would really appreciate it.
See what's on my shitty ass feed. Bill Martin, no thanks. What the fuck? Why the motherfucker talk about? Alright, Tucker, get it. Speak to me, Tuck, man.
You think the people in charge of the country who are benefiting the most, the people like Bill Ackman who think it's been a
I
really
think his
good
son's
war,
name
would
is
be
Buckner.
very concerned
Tucker
about
and
this, and they
Buckner.
would not
That's
want to
crazy.
put any more
Or
economic
Buckley or
pressure
something like that.
on this beleaguered population, and particularly on young people
Buckley.
who seem to bear the brunt of
That's a
it.
strong name.
Probably because they have the least political power,
like
so nobody cares what they
Buckley.
think. Healthy society would be totally focused on what young people think because they are building the society that will outlive the current leadership of that society.
Nobody ain't got
But they're
nose.
ignored. So if you were thinking longitudinally, if you were thinking about what's best over time for your country, your civilization, you'd be focused on them and you would not casually add to their burden. But what we're watching is a kind of frenzy of carelessness, of thoughtlessness, of callousness toward people whose lives have not gotten better over the past 30 years, but gotten measurably worse in every category of measurement.
Bro, gas is
And you hate
off
to pile
the
on,
fucking charts right
and
now,
you hate to take
dude.
the president
Out of this world.
literally.
Out of
I've
this
said
world,
many
bro.
times, Trump is not meant to be taken literally. The theme is what matters. The feeling it evokes is what matters. I've made that argument. And it's often true. But at some point, particularly when you're talking about hard numbers, the prices of commodities, for example, in the middle of a war that is affecting those prices, it is worth paying attention to the president's own estimates of the costs of this voluntary war that he started at the demand of Israel. So here's the president, I think yesterday, explaining his view on oil prices.
I also thought oil would go up to 200, 250, maybe 300. And I know it would be short term.
Bro,
but
fuck yourself,
I thought it
dude.
would go. I looked today, it's like at 102. And that's a very small price to pay for getting rid of a nuclear weapon from people that are really mentally deranged.
It's 100. I thought it was going to go to 200 or 300. Really? What would $200 a barrel oil mean? Well, we've never had it. We've never had and these are adjusted numbers. We've never had $200 a barrel Brent crude, period, in world history. But what would happen if we did? Well, I don't know, $10 a gallon for unleaded at the pump? More for diesel? Much more for jet fuel? What would that mean? Well, it would mean inflation, possibly hyperinflation. What would $300 a barrel oil, which the president said he imagined we could have, what would that mean? Well, it's not even worth guessing because no one's even modeled it out. No one's even taken the time to write out the formula or guess as to what effect $300 a barrel oil would have on human civilization. But you can be absolutely certain it would be the end of a lot of things that we take for granted. Certainly air travel, jobs. It would be a true disaster on the level of, I don't know, a national tsunami or hurricane. It would affect every person in the United States making less than $1 million a year. It would crush people. Already at $100 in the US, $100 oil, you just heard the president say it's 97, something like that. People around the world are worrying about famine. Because, of course, oil is not just used to produce gasoline and jet fuel and asphalt and kerosene and all the familiar products, it's also used to produce fertilizer. All kinds of petrochemicals used to manufacture, but fertilizer. And without it, crop yields go down and people starve. In the most populated continent in the world, which would be sub-Saharan Africa. So already you are seeing a massive human cost, not well reported in American media, to a relatively small spike in global oil prices. And here you have the president saying, I thought it could be $300. That's like saying, well, I thought they might drop a neutron bomb on Chicago, but, I just wanted to risk it. No president should ever be willing to talk that casually about the economic destruction of his nation. The justification for it. It's worth it, said the president, because Iran had nuclear weapons, and you can't let crazy people have nuclear weapons. So it's almost not worth it. Rebutting that with the facts, which are as follows: Iran did not have a nuclear weapon, did not have ICBMs to deliver that weapon here or anywhere near here. It did not have an active nuclear weapons program, and the American intelligence community, all 18 separate agencies, determined that conclusively after studying it for years, and with the motivation to find.
Hey, one person here. God bless you, man. All of you are having a good night.
So no, Iran
hope you have a great night.
A nuclear weapon. It was nowhere near getting a nuclear weapon, despite the line you have often heard. That was not even an imminent threat. It was not close to an imminent threat, despite the fact the Israelis had told us in the U.S. Congress for over 20 years there was an imminent threat. That was a lie. But you have to ask yourself, even if it was true, would that justify destroying the American economy? Would it justify, I don't know, driving 200,000 Britons into poverty in 2 months? And that's just the opening salvo. Would it justify a famine in Africa? No one wants to say it. There are a lot of countries with nuclear weapons. You don't want any of them to have nuclear weapons because any normal person thinks nuclear weapons are bad because they are, by definition, weapons of mass destruction that kill innocents. So they are bad as a category. But there are a lot of countries that have them, including countries with, well, leaderships that are filled with religious extremists, like Israel and Pakistan, and in a way, North Korea. And the world has been able to continue for now almost 30 years with a nuclear armed Pakistan. It's not ideal. Maybe we should have done something during the Clinton administration to stop it. But we haven't had to destroy the American economy in order to do something about it since then. Of course not. And in fact, the deeper truth is that there is a kind of stability, as bad as nuclear weapons are, when rival nations possess them. India and Pakistan which are countries with a long, almost 80-year history of hating each other and many wars in the interim, have managed to fight fairly bitter conflicts since 1947 without using nuclear weapons against each other. How is that possible? Well, the mutually assured destruction principle, which, as ugly as it sounds, is real. It's absolutely real. What you don't want is a nation that feels no constraints whatsoever, that feels it can do whatever it wants, it feels it can roll into its neighbor's sovereign territory and expel the population and kill people. This is exactly, we thought the West in World War II, that's bad. But that's kind of what you get when you have a country that feels it has unconstrained power. It can do whatever it wants. What does it tend to do? Well, whatever it wants. And so you could at least make the case academically, even if you disagreed with the whole idea of nuclear weapons and thought they were probably inherently evil, even if you wondered where they came from in the first place, even if you had dark suspicions about the genesis of nuclear weapons, and some of us do, you could still make the case on a pragmatic basis that, look at the effects. Look at the effects. They are less bad than this. So that's the explanation from the president. You can see why an administration that had higher levels of support from young people a year and a half ago than any Republican in memory, young people came out for Donald Trump, to vote for Donald Trump. Why did they do that? Because they are dissatisfied with the system as it is. They understand it is rigged against them, because it is. And they felt here was one man strong enough to stand up against that system. They tried to put him in jail. They tried to impeach him twice. Here was a guy who understood what he was up against and would take it on, and was brave enough to do that. And a year and a half in, what they've seen is a guy who got in office and immediately took the side of the people who persecuted him. For the preceding 8 years, he took their side and became their most valiant champion, and began to persecute their enemies, as he himself had once been persecuted. He switched teams. And they look at this, and they may not understand all of the details, but they look at this in horror, and they feel betrayed. And that is obvious from the polling numbers. And these are polling numbers that are so stark that you can't actually lie about them. You can't spin them. Donald Trump's drop in support among voters under 30 is precipitous. It's off a cliff. And there are a lot of reasons for this. The Iran war, the refusal to release the Epstein files, the mounting debt that most of them carry. How's your average 27-year-old, 5 years out of college? Hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt from this 4-year college was supposed to make the difference between getting ahead and staying in your hometown and stagnating in some dead-end job. That kid likely has a negative net worth 5 years out of college. And in many cases, they're told point blank, we can't hire you because of how you look. How do you think kids like that feel about Donald Trump? Well, you should talk to some. So the older you get, you realize how fast everything can change. One day everything
Tucker.
is fine,
I don't know
it's
if anybody's
great,
in
and the
here,
next
but
day
if you
things
are, I love
not
you.
great
God
at all.
bless.
That's
I'm
the
out of here
nature of
for
it.
tonight. I might be back on.